Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. I'm in a good mood. We're going to talk about how the headline could turn around and eat you alive because all the interviews that Keffe D did eat them alive, and I'm going to break it down from a Unique Mecca audio street perspective in 26 years in federal prison and let you know what time it is so you don't want to miss this. Just like we just had the jury that they said now may have potentially lied about a criminal history just to get on the case because Tupac got that big. But what got me so messed up is I walked the streets with Tupac Shakur. He was just Pac to me, you know? And I'm going to let y'all know, I got a video coming because, y'all put this out there. Trex went on, Tony Yayo and what's the name podcast, and Cole lied about the hip hop parade. I can't believe he did that. I got the proof, the evidence, and it will be going to court. So Tretch need to get at me. But anyway, I'm going to do a whole video about that separate, but I wanted to just bring it in and just show you how this is so crazy that people do the craziest ish. All right? Hit that like button, keep it moving, hit the hype, you like the content, hit the hype, keep it moving. All right, let's start it from the beginning so y'all understand what's going on, right? This man, Keffe D, is on trial for the rest of his life. He's already 61, 62. He got cancer, everything going on. And I see Reggie White making videos, Suge Knight calling in. I'm going to weigh in on all that, man, because y'all need a real street perspective. We're not going to do that, Reggie White, you're an officer. You're speaking from an officer perspective. We understand that. Stay in the officer's lane. That's all I'm saying, big bro. Stay in the officer's lane. You got a whole different perspective. You want court justice. You locked black people up. And now you want to talk to black people and want black people to listen to you about black business. This don't happen in black worlds. And this ain't to disrespect you. This is just to let you know, stay in your lane, man. If you're speaking from an officer's point of view, say I'm speaking from an officer's point of view. Don't talk about Suge Knight gang banging, what he told. I saw a video you did, irked me to my stomach when you went in on Suge Knight, talking about his baby mama and all this gossip crap that ain't got nothing to do with Tupac Shakur or Keffe Duane Williams. Stop it, man. Stop it. Y'all turning this into, you an officer. You want to be labeled and remembered as a decorated officer. Always say that to the people. I'll watch your podcast, but you feeding into trigger business with bull crap. Stop it, man. Like I said, this ain't to disrespect you. Somebody need to tell you. Stay in the officer's lane. Stop it. You won't, and you have never did a day in jail. And you speaking, man, let me just play this real quick. Let me get off of that because I'm about to ride.
30 years after Tupac Shakur was killed, someone is set to go on trial for his murder. And prosecutors say some of their most important evidence came from the man they charged because he spent years talking about the killing himself. Jury selection begins today for Duane Keith Davis, better known as Keffe D, the only person ever charged in Tupac's death. Davis has pleaded not guilty. So how did a murder that went unsolved for decades finally lead to an arrest? Tupac was shot multiple times in 1996 in Las Vegas during a drive-by shooting while leaving a boxing match. The bullets destroyed his right lung, and he died 6 days later. Police suspected gang ties from the beginning, but investigators were not able to talk to Shakur before his death, and other witnesses were not forthcoming. Years later, in 2008, Davis spoke to federal task force agents as part of a proffer, which typically means prosecutors exchange something of value for information they wanted that a person under suspicion has. He said that Tupac assaulted his nephew the night of the boxing match, and a group of them wanted to retaliate, according to a document in a recent legal filing. Davis continued to talk about the killing publicly, including in a 2018 BET interview and a book published a year later. Then, in 2023,
Hey Keith, Metro Police, come over here.
police say they arrested and charged Davis in connection to the rapper's murder.
But it wasn't until 2018 that this case was reinvigorated as additional information came to light, specifically Duane Davis's own admissions to his involvement in this homicide investigation that he provided to numerous different media outlets.
Prosecutors don't claim Davis fired the shots that killed Tupac. Instead, they say he orchestrated the killing and provided the gun used in the shooting. Davis now says those statements can't be trusted. He says the book published under his name was fiction, written by a ghostwriter, and that he attached his name to it for money. Now, a jury will have to decide what to believe. If convicted, Davis faces up to life in prison. 30 years after Tupac Shakur was killed.
Now, so that's where we at, right? This is a sad case because this is nothing more than a man that was chasing a headline and it turned around and ate him alive. Now, class is in session, right? This is how we're gonna do this on the Hood channel, right? So y'all understand. Class is in session, right?
I don't drink Coke anymore.
Now, he ain't gotta worry about that no more. He don't drink Coke no more. Now, everybody wants their name ringing. Everybody wants somebody talking about them. Everybody wants to become the headline until the headlines come with a courtroom, a prosecutor, a murder charge, and 12 strangers staring back at you. Now look at the Tupac trial. This trial is so powerful, so emotional, so deep, so connected to hip hop. So you understand. That's why I mentioned the thing about Tretch earlier, because Tretch, I'm gonna be making a video and I got all the evidence. I got pictures of you in Club 2000, Queen Latifah in Club 2000, Shakim, everybody when Lord Geronimo came up there. You know what I mean? And Pop was with me. So I got all that, you know what I mean? And the masters to the hip hop parade. So we gonna be talking, we gonna make this live, all right? So now, check it out, Ron. Even the, this is so deeply connected to hip hop that even the people trying to get into the jewelry box or becoming part of a story. Now, this young man went up there and lied. Prosecutors raised an issue about one potential juror. They said the information he gave about his criminal history might not match his criminal record. Now, think about the psychology of that. Now, not whether this man deliberately lied, we don't know that yet, but think about the situation. You're being considered to sit in judgment of another man's past, and suddenly your own past is being examined because now they're looking at whether he told a lie when he said that he's never been arrested. That's how big this case is. 30 years later, Tupac is gone, but that one night still has enough power to pull everybody's history into the light, even the juror that they allege was lying. And young brothers and sisters, this is the part I need you to hear. You might think attention is power. You might think being known is winning. You might think having everybody say your name means you made it. But there are two different kinds of headlines. One headline celebrates what you built. The other headline tells the world what you've accused of destroying. Like they said, I was accused of destroying the community because I sold 330 kilos of crack cocaine, which I apologize for. But I bring that up so that you understand that everything we do is a part of our history and our legacy, and it builds or destroys our community. And even though I may have destroyed it in the past, which I apologize for, right now I'm trying to build it back up by giving these jewels this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, so you can understand the culture that we live in, to show that we're free, because we have the power to refine ourselves, because we deal with equality and believe in God. That's how we build the bond. We either build the nation or destroy the nation. And then, of course, we become born again. And that's the new me that's here talking to you so you understand, right? But like I said, there's two different kind of headlines. One headline celebrates what you built. The other headline tells the world what you're accused of destroying. And once you become that second headline, you don't control the story no more. And that's what's happening with Keffe D right now. Your name being famous doesn't mean your life became successful. Sometimes fame is evidence. Which headlines are you building towards right now? That's my question to you. What headline are you building towards right now? How do you want to be known or seen right now? Now we're going to take a ride. And could you believe a rat bastard flip-flop wearing in public troll tried to say that he don't like that I be riding? Can I ride? This is how I ride on my channel. No disrespect. If you don't like the ride, take your seatbelt off and get out, because I'm not going to pull out unless you put your seatbelt on. All right? Because we follow the law now, 2026. 30 years later, the night still ain't over. September 26th, Tupac gets shot in Las Vegas. He dies 6 days later. Duane Keffe D is now on trial, accused of, by the prosecutors, of orchestrating that killing. He is, he pled guilty. If convicted, he faces the possibility of life in prison. But I'm not here to be a news reporter today. You can turn on the news for that. That's why I say if you don't like it, go watch the news. This the hood news. I'm sitting here as an OG telling you what scares me about this story. This is what scares me at 62 about this story. 30 years later, that's what scares me. Because young people live like tonight is the only night that matters. You're angry tonight, you're embarrassed tonight, somebody disrespect you tonight. Your boys are watching tonight. Your girl is watching tonight. Instagram is watching. So you make a decision tonight, but consequences don't live on your schedule. They can wait 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and then knock, boom, 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 boom. That's what the streets never taught us correctly. The streets taught us urgency. React now, handle it now, prove yourself now. But the criminal justice system, that machine knows how to wait. It has patience. Just like how could we ride? Just like how I know my man used to go and get dudes late at night. So when he pull up late at night, they not there. So he might sit in the bushes from 11 o'clock at night until 4 or 5 in the morning, praying he come home before the sun come up so he could do his job and go back to his life. That's patience. And that's what that legal machine is like. It has patience that you don't need to ever forget about. That machine knows how to wait. And when it finally comes back, everybody who encouraged the moment might be gone. And the jewel in that is simple and plain. A 5-minute decision can create 30 years of consequences. When everybody else goes home, who is left carrying your decision if you react on crash out time? Put that in the comments. Could we ride? And screw you that don't like, you know what I mean? The ride. The jewelry box just exposed something bigger. This prospective jewelry situation interests me because it exposes something bigger than one person. Everybody in that courtroom comes with a history. Everybody comes with a belief. Everybody comes with mistakes. Everybody comes with emotions. And now they're being asked, can you look at this case fairly? Can you separate Tupac, the icon, from Tupac, the victim? Can you separate Keffe D, the public personality, from Duane Davis, the defendant, sitting here fighting for his life. That's hard because Tupac isn't just a name. Tupac represents somebody's childhood, somebody's pain, somebody's rebellion, somebody's soundtrack. Somebody remembers exactly where they were when Tupac died. Where were you when Tupac died? Put it in the comments. I'm gonna tell you where I was at when Tupac died. When Tupac died, I was in 80X Supermax, buried on the ground, locked in 23 hours a day with Mario Villabona, David Ford from DC. Y'all don't even know Mario Villabona. Mario Villabona, we riding. You know what I mean? We riding. And we in LA, right? We in LA. All right, so then we ride. Mario Villabona is the one that supplied Harry O. Harry O is home. He's alive. Ask him. Ask Harry O. So you understand, I'm connected. I was in 80X Supermax with Mario Villabona that was locked up with Bo Bennett and Harry O. You're Harry O. with Snoop Dogg. Challenge anything I'm saying, and big shout out to Big Ted that was in Lum Park with me 2001. One of the best come out of LA. Big shout out to Big Kaz. Big shout out to Sea-Dog, Capone. Should I keep going? Ice, Mad Ice. I know Cali Gangsters. I don't know what the hell this is behind me. All because you heard what I played at the beginning. He sat there and interrogated, thought he was going to tell for a day it was never going to be used against him, but he turned around, used it again, and went on interviews and wrote a book, and now they used him against him. But only thing happened is that he got exposed for ratting. And that's not to disrespect him, that's just to tell you what time it is. We don't play games over here at Unique Mecca Audio. Get mad all you want, get off my channel. You can support Keffe D or Duane, David, whatever. You support whatever you want. I don't have an issue with that. He got to sleep with that. You got to sleep with who and what you support. So don't get mad at me for telling you what the facts are, because that's what we do in this class. You're in a hood professor's class giving you hood education. He ratted when he sat there and did the queen for the day. End the story. So he thought he had a green light to go run, tell the story again. And they said, no, that queen for the day was our queen. You gave us the information. You're our biatch. You can't go to the public and do that and write a book. Now you violated because now you want to be a social media whore. And like I said, it's not to disrespect him, it's tell it what it is. He was a social media whore, jumping on, all the dialogue this day, flying the next day, that the next day, that the next day. And the feds said, you are a whore. Pull your skirt down. And they pulled his black ass in. I'm just giving you the real from a hood perspective, man. I mean, it is what it is. If you like this video, man, like I said, I already got 100,000 subscribers. When you see how real I talk, so they ain't gonna sit there and push it like they're supposed to push it. So this don't mean, all right? Let's get that out the way. That don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? I only keep it just so I can show it to you, because it don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? Because they done changed the rules. Now you gotta hit like, because the emoji, you gotta do everything. They got you doing all this. So hit the like, the hype, and all that. Keep it moving. But much respect, to them for the plaque. Round of applause. Round of applause for the plaque. Round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Relax, y'all. Relax. That came from you. 31 million views I got since I've been on here. After 26 years in federal prison. So now, let me ride back into this, right? Because I can ride all day, but this is how we ride. To make it you don't like it, you already know to take your seatbelt on and get the F out the car. Now, imagine telling that person, put every emotion away. Ignore 30 years of documentaries. Ignore interviews, ignore rumors, ignore hip-hop history. Listen, only the what comes into this courtroom is what the jury's gonna be told. Everything you ever saw on social media, block it out your mind, and you tell me if you'll be able to block out everything out your mind that you ever saw on social media about this case and sit on this jury. Put that in the comments. That's how you make this go viral, because the youth need to see it and join this fire. You know what I mean? That's the pressure on the jury, so you understand. And that's why your freedom being placed in the hands of 12 strangers should terrify any human being. Playing with serious consequences. Let me give you the jewels so I can ride on, because I feel like riding real quick. I feel like riding. Y'all wanna ride? Y'all wanna ride? Let's ride. The people you're trying to impress today may never sit on your jewelry tomorrow. And that's your real peers. The ones that know why you did what you did. The ones that know why Pooh Shiesty, as they said, crashed out. You know what I mean? So now, let me ask you this question and put this in the comment. Class, you paying attention? So why are you gambling your freedom for their approval if they'll never sit in your jewelry pool tomorrow? Now, like I said, all we do is ride over here. We just came to ride. Street credibility has no power in that room. They don't care nothing about your credibility in that room. See, this is the part young brothers misunderstand. Outside that courtroom, somebody might have a reputation, a history, connections, serious stories, a name. Inside that courtroom, none of that automatically means anything. The jury doesn't owe you street respect. The judge doesn't care who feared you. The prosecutor isn't impressed by what neighborhood knew your name. All they did to do was to take you down. And that was one of the hardest lessons I learned from prisons. That none of that crap that I did, selling 330 keys a day, going from this state to that state, having houses in Miami and Atlanta, Virginia, DC, penthouse. The court and the prosecutor and the jury didn't care nothing about that. They cared so less about that, they gave me a life sentence for accumulating that. Now, the identity you spent years building outside can become absolutely worthless once those steel doors close behind you. Nobody cares about your old applause. Your family cares whether you're coming home. Your children care whether you're present. Your mother cares whether she can touch you or not. Without a glass between you. That's reality. Young men sometimes sacrifice freedom trying to build credibility with people who have no authority whatsoever to give that freedom back when it's time to pay for your crime. Now, got to give you the jewel in that. Remember when you see the blue bell, the jewel, the diamond pop up, that's when you know when you're scrolling through the videos, you can pull back, get the question and answer the question if you missed the question as I move along. Never trade something valuable for approval from somebody powerless to replace what you lose, which may be your freedom. But I got a question for you. Class, y'all ready? Get your Quixie pad out and open up your comments. Who are you trying to impress? And can they give you your years back when they give you that 25 years? Man, we ride. We halfway through this class. We only at 23 minutes. Thank you for coming. Let's keep it moving. The most dangerous drug today is attention. So you understand. Now, let me bring this into 2026 because this isn't just a Tupac story. Young people today are living inside an attention economy. Views, likes, followers, going viral, trending. Everybody wants visibility. And that can become dangerous because once attention becomes your drug, you need a stronger dose tomorrow. Yesterday, you show money. Today, you need money. Yesterday, you argued. Today, you need a bigger confrontation. Yesterday, 10,000 people watched. Now, 10,000 people is not enough. And eventually, some people live in a real life and start performing the character. They start living the character to who they were when they was posting. When if you take them off the post, they don't even own the car that their foot is on. They may have borrowed the sneakers that's on their feet. They may have borrowed the shirt that's on their back. They may have borrowed the pants on their ass. That's where it gets dangerous, because your followers may be entertainment. Your enemies may be disrespect. Now, your employer may see judgment problems, and investigators may see something entirely different. Keffe D's own public statements and memoir have become important parts of his prosecution case. While his defense disputes the reliability and meaning of those statements, think about the lesson. Your mouth can build your platform and later become something lawyers argue about in court to try and defend your freedom from the words that you built your platform on. Now, let's go to the jewel. Attention feels powerful until somebody else's controls what words mean what. And I'm gonna take a ride. And screw you that don't like when I ride. I'm gonna take a ride. Yo, you know, I'm in Lewisburg, I'm on the phone, they charge me attempt introduction to narcotics, because that's what it was, attempt introduction, try to bring some weed in the jail is what they said. So I'm sitting in the joint, when I'm sitting in the joint, I get on the phone and I tell them, yo, don't forget to bring the magazines, because you know you're allowed to bring magazines on a visit and turn them into the officer when you get to the prison. She bring the magazine, turn it in, but then she also brought some weed that she got caught with, so they switched it and said that when I said magazines, I meant weed, and found me guilty of attempt introduction to narcotics for me telling her to bring 5 magazines that she actually bought, that she actually had. Put it in the comments what you think about that. See how crazy this is? You know? Now, are you building a platform or building a record somebody can replay against you in a court of law? Now, think about how that go with the story I just used about being in Lewisburg, talking on the phone, just talking, telling them to bring me some magazines. But they looked at that as building a record for the attempt introduction. Now, because we ride, let's ride back into Keffe D. Don't create a character you can't escape. I've watched this happen, right? A young man starts creating an image harder than he really is, more dangerous than he really is, more reckless than he really is. Because that image gets attention and he's seeking attention. Sometimes we become attention whores. Do you know someone that's an attention whore? Put it in the comments. Then something happens. Now suddenly he wants everybody to understand that wasn't really me. That was entertainment. That was content. That was how I talked. But here's the problem. You spent years convincing everybody that character was you, Keffe D. You convinced the world that that was you that handed the gun over that took Tupac Shakur's life. And this is not to disrespect you, it's just to point out what you did. Because this is how we do journalistic crap in this classroom. Now, when consequences arrive, you need everybody to believe the opposite of what you said, right? That's dangerous. Your reputation can become a prison before you ever reach an actual prison. Because once you build an identity around never backing down, what happens when you back down is actually the smartest decision. When walking away would save your life, when apologizing would save your freedom, when admitting you were wrong would keep your children from visiting you behind the glass. Now, because I love my jewels. Never build an image so hard that wisdom starts looking weak. Because is Keffe D looking weak to you now? Put it in the comments. Not to disrespect them, just put your honest comments in the comments. If your reputation won't allow you to walk away, who really owns you? You or your reputation? Because we riding at the Mecca. All right, let's go. This is where Tupac enters the story differently. Let's talk about how Tupac entered this differently, right? Now, I know what some people are thinking. Tupac was 25. Tupac came from a different era. Tupac publicly embraced thug life. And people can debate forever whether the 25-year-old Tupac would have viewed justice the way people discussing this trial view justice today. Because we know that Tupac considered himself as a thug, and we know he started to evolve while he was still alive when he denounced thug life. But would the 25-year-old Tupac actually want this trial to go down, or would he want justice, or would he have gotten justice the next day if he wouldn't have passed? How do you think he would have got that justice? How do you feel Tupac would have handled this if he did not pass? Put it in the comments. How do you think Tupac would react if this was 1996 and he survived that attack and the empire didn't crumble as yet? Somebody let me know. Now, everybody discussing this trial, viewing justice today on how we view justice today at 62. But when I got locked up 28, 29, man, listen, man, my brother got 2 to the head. I refuse to cooperate against the you know what I mean? I don't care if they police, I don't care if they civilians, you know, I can't do it. That's just me. And that's why I'm telling you, don't get twisted like me. I know I'm screwed up. So y'all could put in the comments, oh, you stuck on old times. No, this was something that I signed up for. So I make sure I don't walk that path again, so I don't have to make those hard decisions whether to tell or not. If someone is doing something illegal, my friends know I go the other way. Don't call me for bull crap. I can make my own decision and tell them, man, you's a damn fool. You going to jail. I'm going home. You know what I mean? And that's what you need to have. So remember how Unique Mecca audio carry it. Keffe D could have told them young boys, man, yo, your cuz, you know, or nephew, you know, that's you he did that to, so that's your choice you got to make. But whatever choice you make, you know what I mean? If it ain't the one that I feel you should make, I'm not getting in that Cadillac. You and the homies go do that on your own. But instead he got in the car, allegedly, and passed the gun, and now he's saying he wasn't even there. After 30 years, Keffe D said he was there, he passed the gun. Now Keffe D said, I wasn't even in Vegas. And he said that Orlando Anderson's the one that bop. And then now he turns around and he says, Orlando Anderson was in the hospital or something like that. Put it in the comments, man. How crazy could this? Who is his attorneys? Where they getting this from? I mean, yo, y'all need to contact Unique Mecca Audio. My number's on the screen. Y'all want some real, you know, defensive advice. Because I don't know what the hell they telling Keffe D over there. You done went, you done, you know, I can't predict the verdict, but, you know, it don't look good you doing that, in my opinion. Now, but I'm not repeating that conversation because there's something deeper here. Forget what Tupac may have wanted. It don't matter how Tupac would have wanted to handle it. None of us could speak for that man who isn't here to answer for himself. Here's what we can see. A 25-year-old lost his life. His family carried that loss. Fans carried that loss. Hip-hop carried that loss. And nearly 30 years later, a courtroom is still dealing with the consequences of that September, 1996? Just so you could understand. So instead of asking young people, what would Tupac want? I'm asking, what do you want? What do you want to come from this trial? You want your mother crying over your mom? Or laughing beside you at 60? Think about that before you crash out. You want people pouring liquor on your picture or calling you because you're still here? You want your children hearing legendary stories about you or actually having access to you? That's different. real different. Being remembered is not more valuable than me being present. Would you ever become a legend at 25 or become a grandfather with wisdom at 62 like me? And I thank you for my grandkids. Somebody always pays you for the code. Somebody always pays for the code. Street culture sells you the idea that loyalty is everything, and loyalty matters. Your world matters, principles matter, but loyalty without wisdom can become self-destruction because somebody always pays. Maybe it's prison, maybe it's death, maybe it's the trauma that comes with this madness. Maybe it's a mother waiting decades for answers, like my mother waited 26 years for me to come out of federal prison, so I'm speaking from lived experience. Maybe it's children growing up trying to understand a father they barely knew, because my children didn't know me. I went to jail. My daughter was 18 months. I come out, she was 27, going on 28. I come out of jail, I go into jail, and then I got my other son. He was like 8 years old. I come out, he's 36. Y'all do the math, put it in the comments, I right or wrong, because y'all like to do the math and criticize things anyway. So feel free. He was 8 when I went in, and he came out with 36. So how old, this is a math question because we in class. So how old was I when I went to prison, and how old was he when I came out of prison if he was 8? And when I came home, he was 36. The bill doesn't disappear because everybody agreed to stay quiet. The bill just moves from one generation to the next. That's why I don't romanticize that old code. I never lived close enough to consequences to understand something. Some of what we call strength was really fear of looking weak. Some of what we call loyalty was really pride. Some of what we call respect was really people terrified of what everybody else would say. And then we react in a crash out way, and before you know it, you in prison. How many people you know reacted in a crash out way growing up, and you still love them to death, still think about them, but they've been gone so many years. Talk about it. Now, a code isn't honorable just because generations repeated it. Think about that. A code isn't honorable just because generations repeated it. Now, what part of the old code deserves respect? To you, that's my question to you. What part of the old code deserves respect, and what part needs to end with us now, today? Let's ride. Oh man, where we at? Man, I done kept y'all 8 minutes over class, man. I'm sorry about that. Relax, just, you can take your seatbelt on and get out at any time, but I'm gonna ride a little longer. You don't control the headline after the handcuffs. That's what you gotta remember. This is the part I want the youth to understand, to tattoo mentally into their mind. You control yourself before the decision and after the decision. Your control starts disappearing. Police control where you go. A judge controls whether you stay home or go to prison. Lawyers control arguments about your words to try and make sense of your crazy defense that you may be giving them. Like now you wasn't there after 30 years of putting yourself at the scene of the crime. Court rules control what a jury hears. Jurors may control whether you're convicted or not, and if you're sentenced to life in prison. The institution controls what you eat, when you sleep, when you move, when the doors open, when the doors close. That's what nobody puts in the music videos. Why nobody's making videos about what it's like in prison and how mentally traumatized you are? Everybody films the freedom. Nobody wants to film losing control of everything. That's why I'm always telling young people, Freedom looks ordinary until somebody takes it away. Then ordinary becomes priceless. Right or wrong? Put that in the comments. The greatest flex isn't people knowing your name. It's waking up free enough to control your own day. And my question to you, class, is how much attention is worth surrendering your freedom? Now, let me give you the real Unique Mecca audio lesson, then I'm out of here. I've been riding long enough. We've been doing it. So I'm watching this Tupac trial a little differently than you may be looking at it. I'm not just watching Keffe D. I'm watching a 30-year-old decision still moving through time. I'm watching lawyers, I'm watching jurors, I'm watching families, I'm watching hip-hop history walk into that courtroom. And now, even a potential juror's own history can become something the court has to examine. That's powerful, because the whole case becomes a mirror. Everybody has a past. Everybody has told the story. Everybody has made mistakes. But wisdom is understanding that every decision creates a future vision of who eventually has to live with it. Young brothers and young sisters, don't make your future self pay for something your present self did not applaud. Don't become the headline because you couldn't just walk away. Don't become famous because police put your face on television. Don't make prison the place where everybody finally learns your name. How many people you didn't learn their name until they went to prison? Put in the comment, who are some of the names that you learned after they went to prison when dealing with this street life? Now, build something, own something, learn something, raise your children, protect your peace, become famous to your family for actually being there for them. Because the streets might remember you, the internet might remember you, hip hop may even remember you. But if remembering you requires losing you, what did you actually win? Somebody tell me what you actually won. Don't chase a headline your future self will spend decades trying to escape. Because you know how many appeals he'll have to find if he's found guilty. Now, let me ask the class this. If everybody knew your name tomorrow, what would you want them to know you for? If tomorrow everybody knew who you are, all of y'all that's watching, what would you want them to know you for or as what? Now, class is dismissed. I'm out of here. But I'm going to show you why I do what I do, so we're going to break it down like this.
Hey, what's going on, man? Murder Mook, Harlem, you know what it is, man. I just want to express how much gratitude I got for Unique. You know what I mean? I was telling him a story, telling him how I felt about, if anything was to go wrong with my career, rap-wise, if, should be slow, and I got so many opportunities to be able to do the wrong shit. When I watch Unique Mecca audio, I feel it, and to my soul, and that's keeping me farthest away from doing anything criminal. Anything criminal. He made me think straight, honestly. Made me think straight, because I've been watching him for about a year now, maybe. And it just took my mind way off of that. From a year ago, it got rough. For a year ago,
Yeah.
and from watching this man, I just felt like you saved me. You saved me. And I just want to show my gratitude, and I want to say thank you, man. Unique Mecca Audio, anything you need, brother, from me.
All right.
Anything you need, man.
All right.
Let's go. Hey, yo, tune in to Mecca Audio, man. Unique, man. Listen, man. I'm a young OG. I knew him since I was young. I used to be in Mecca Audio Studios. Great, man. I'm Ra from Tupac Against the World albums. You can check my credentials. This is a good man, real man. Mecca Audio. I've been on this, man, since I was a little young lad, man. Before Tupac album, before I even did the outlaw shit and all that, man. Holla at me, man. And tune in to Mecca Audio Unique, man. Holla at us, man.
All right.
You know.
I just want to give a shout out to Unique Mecca Audio. He is so dope. I had the experience of actually meeting him in person. I've been a fan for 2 years, watching his story and watching his videos on YouTube. He is the bomb.com. Harlem, legendary, kingpin, real, official. As soon as I sat down by him, I knew like it was like a different energy, a different vibe. But then once I hear his voice, I'm like, oh my God, is that him? I'm all fanned out. Like, you know, it was such an experience getting the chance to meet him and, you know, being a fan of his YouTube channel and just following him for the last 2 years and knowing his story and seeing his interviews. And I support him 1000%. And I'm subscribed to his YouTube. You should go and subscribe as well. Amazing, amazing.
What's going on, people? What's going on, man? You got your boy Lodestone out here in Harlem. I'm from the BX. I'm with Unique Mecca Audio. You know what I'm saying? It's a good vibe with the OG. I advise everybody, if you want to hear real spill, real shit, no cap, tune in. Tune in and hear what the OG got to say, man. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna give you all the truth, man. He's gonna give you that real shit, man.
Here with the OGs, you already know. Yeah. Unique Mecca Audio. If you ain't tapped into Unique Mecca Audio, I don't know what you tapped into. I'm talking about real streets. I'm talking about real entertainment. I'm talking about real YouTubing, real getting to that bag. But I'm talking about a real OG that changed their life, yo. I changed my life the same way. And real OGs like that push me further to change my life. You hear me? Come look. Look what's going on out here. This Harlem. I'm a Brooklyn boy. The only tapping with OGs like Mecca, man. Because I'm telling you, if you're not tapping in Unique Mecca Audio, I don't know what you're doing, man. Show them the scene, OG. They playing themselves. Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'm like, oh my God, is that him? I'm all fanned out. Like, you know, it was such an experience getting the chance to meet him and, you know, being a fan of his YouTube channel and just following him for the last 2 years and knowing his story and seeing his interviews. And I support him 1000%. And I'm subscribed to his YouTube. You should go and subscribe as well. Amazing. History, how hard it is to be in jail, the right and wrong moves to make when you outside, how one wrong move will cost you a whole lot, to be better, to do better, a lot of stuff. You'll get a lot of stuff from his channel, you know? It's very informal. And, you know, whatever that means to you, you'll definitely take a piece with you. Like, this is a good YouTube channel, honestly.
Where they can find you.
Okay, I'm Cora. You can find me at Instagram on Why Hate on Her. And, yeah.
Cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. An Instagram page and a YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours, so we can give back to the